One thing is very clear. When you tell somebody, do something, the person asks himself or herself, who are you to tell me what to do and what not to do? But I've realized that people usually do the opposite of what you ask them to do. And so instead of telling people do, another way of communicating to people is to use the word don't. So when you say don't do something, people will interpret it and do the opposite of what you ask them not to do. So when you say don't go out, you end up finding people loving to go out. And so when you want people to go out, you can say don't go out, and then they go out. Now, it is not normal, but it's a way of making people to do what you want them to do without telling them to do it. And so in this video, I'll be looking at 3 things that I would advise that you shouldn't do. So don't do it. So what is the don't do number 1? It is don't have a plan for your life. It sounds very funny. It sounds a little bit sarcastic, but I need to emphasize this point. When you want to make your life predictable, then you plan it. But there are many people who love an unpredictable life. They don't love to be predictable. They don't love to do things predictably. They don't want to be able to predict their future. They love things to be accidental. They love things to be sudden. They love things to be random. And so if you are somebody like that, I want to advise you. If you don't want to be able to say in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 3 years, I would have achieved, I would have gotten to this point. You don't want your life to be predictable. You shouldn't be able to forecast your growth, your prospects, your success, or your experiences in the future. So the first thing I would advise is don't have a plan. Because if you have a plan, you'll be forced by that plan to get a result that you have imagined, that you have thought about. So your future then becomes predictable. So since you don't like to be predictable, you want to have a sudden success, sudden experience. So I will advise, don't have a plan for your life. The next advice that I will give is don't be deliberate about your friends. Don't choose your friends. Allow them to choose you. Now, it sounds also funny, but that is important. Many people that wants to have a life that they think it's okay. So the first thing they try to do is to ensure that just anybody doesn't become their friends. And so they choose who their friends are. You know, people have spoken about choosing your friends and choosing your enemies. But what I want to advise you is don't choose your friends at all. Let them choose you. Anybody can bump into your life. Anybody can come to you and become your best friend. So your best friends could just be anybody around. So it makes your life a bit convenient. It doesn't involve you to do anything. There is no initiative that is required. There is no responsibility that is required. Just sit down where you are, sit down doing nothing, and then friends will be coming to you left, right, and center. And then you have to ride on with them, understanding that you were never deliberate about choosing them. They only came to you because they wanted you. So you don't have the capacity to determine how they be your friend, the modus operandi, the mode of operations, the mode of communication. You don't have authority to define the boundaries because you didn't choose them. As I said, they chose you. So anyone that chooses is actually the one who determines a lot of things. So the third advice is don't look before you leap. Aha! Now I'm sure you are thinking about it. People have said look before you leap. I want to advise you, don't look before you leap. You just leap because you think you should leap. Once it comes to your heart to do a thing, just leap. Now, what that tells you is that you don't have to be boxed by your limitations or your strengths. You don't have to be thinking about, can I do it, can I not do it? Do you have what it takes to do it or not to do it? I'm just advising you, don't think at all about that, just do it. It comes to your heart, do it. Don't think about it. Don't look, don't observe, don't learn anything. Don't allow wisdom to guide your decision. Allow your own sentiment to guide you. And that is you not looking before you leap in. Now, if you can follow these 3 advices that I've given, I said, number 1, don't plan, don't have a plan for your life. And number 2, don't choose your friends, let them choose you. And number 3, don't look before you leap. If you can follow these advices that I've given you in an order that you choose, I'm sure your life will not remain the same. My goal is to help you to have a better life, to grow yourself, to grow, to mature. But if my advice is coming a bit absurd, a bit funny, maybe you can just flip it and then guide your life by what I have shared with you. I hope to connect with you on the same channel in the next episode. God bless you.